Okay, so now we'll switch to English, and let's start from the very beginning, and let's start from the introduction, right? So everybody would know who we are and why do we talk about all of that. I'll start first, and I am the one who represents Co-Parts today. And Co-Parts, it is a non-profit organization that aims to help and support emerging artists, mostly by providing information. We are kind of standing with free information at this moment. And we asked Gleb to just show and share with us all of the things that he can and he knows about AI. And yeah, I guess I'll switch to you now.
Okay. So thank you, Zhenya. Thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here today. So a few words about me. Probably in this context, it's worth mentioning that I have like 18 or next to 20 years of experience working in IT in different positions, from an engineer to leadership positions like product manager and chief product officer in large-scale corporations, IT companies. And I quit this path like 4 years ago to pursue my career in, I would widely put it as helping people achieve their goals, and also my artistic career. So I've been doing art for most of my life. It was music. I actually published some music, DJ'd, and had some live gigs. And was graphic cards. I did all kinds of posters, designs, websites, online communities. And recently, I rediscovered painting. Actually, my girlfriend, who is an artist herself, she just brought me like some brushes, some ink, and I never stopped since then. I'll show you a few of the images. And at the same time, like roughly a year ago, there was this huge explosion of IT tools, AI tools like ChatGPT, obviously, but also Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and other networks. And they quickly caught my interest because I'm probably a bit older than some people might guess. I'm turning 40 in April, and I still remember the time when there was no internet, and it was like late 90s, and I was a kid, and I felt there is something special about this thing, the internet, the thing that's gonna connect us and connect everyone everywhere. And I've had some really magical experiences using internet, and it felt good. It felt opening and widening, and I would say that when I would go online, I felt like I was flying. It was a special feeling. So when I first saw the modern AI technologies, I had the same feeling. Like, I see that this technology has incredible ability to transform our lives, for worse or for better. I see them. They are really powerful. So I decided to invest like a lot of time into that, right? And I've committed to use ChatGPT every day, which I did. I never stopped. And I committed to use Midjourney mostly daily. I don't know how many generations are done in Midjourney, but what I learned from my personal experience is that you need to use those tools to understand them. It's not enough to listen about them, to read about them, to be consumers, because in a way they are very different from the tools we used to have before, like, I don't know, Photoshop or Illustrator or whatever. They are in a way similar to humans. They're unpredictable, they are chaotic, they cannot repeat themselves, they are bad at storing information and stuff like that. They're really weird in strange ways. Those are not the computers we are used to, not the computer software we are used to. It's different. Some people ascribe humane qualities to those tools. Whenever we have discussions with people about tools, they complain about them, and they like to say, they ascribe some human qualities, like it's lazy, it's trying to I don't know, to cheat or something like that. It's very funny to see all those reactions, but it's real. We will relate to those tools in a very specific ways. And at this point, I would probably ask you to take part in a small exercise, which I usually do with everyone on our AI labs that we conduct for the fourth time this March. We usually ask how you feel about social AI tools, how you feel about Midjourney, Sora, everything you see probably daily if you follow tech news, or even not only tech news. Those are big news everywhere. So, but if you could share a bit, and we will use those emotions, your reactions, as a source for some generation. So I want this thing to be somewhat interactive, so that we as a small collective generate something new. Because to me, those tools are empowering. Those tools help people better collaborate, better co-create. So I want to show small example of co-creation right now. So Zhenya, maybe you can share your feelings about seeing all those technologies emerge.
Yes, I can. Do you want us to share it with you by, like, in a written form, or to pronounce?
You can say, I'll just jot them down.
Okay. Well, personally for me, because I'm also like from the older generation, and for me, this thing is scary, and mostly scary. So each time when I see an opportunities that it brings to the table, of course, I see that it is something that is changing the situation at this moment. And right now it changed things, as I see, to the better side. And I can also see that there is a flip in a quite close future that I'm afraid of, that could turn into some direction that I can't predict, because it is the thing that I can't understand. And I can feel this difference. And yeah, it is actually that for sure, I feel that AI is something more like, I don't know, it's something like something between grandpa, to whom you need to like literally explain things to which you get used to, right? And in the same time, a robot machine. And for me, it's weird kind of mixture. And that fact that there is something profoundly scary inside, and something that I can predict. Yeah, I guess I will stick with these words. So scary, can't predict, and humanized.
Humanized.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone else who can share, maybe in a written form, so that we can use your feelings as a source for our co-creation?
If no one will add, I can add some more.
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe something for the bright side, like you mentioned the opportunities.
Yes, I can. There is kind of an opportunities, but again, I can see these opportunities, but again, I see something like far beyond the line that I can actually see at this moment. The things that I can't predict, they start to scare me. So probably that's the thing, that right away I'm just switching to the final point. Again, Gleb, you here? I think Gleb will return back. Yeah, welcome back.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. It just freezes.
Yeah. So opportunities. I actually was the whole idea about this call was to discuss how AI helps and how it might be a really helpful tool for artists, and more, like to turn it into brighter side, just because it is not on the bright side for me. So I want someone to bring it there. And yeah, I can clearly see this as a really useful tool that, first of all, can help us to write artist statements and to write like really good description for works. I mean, not when you just put an idea into ChatGPT and just leave it like that, and it will bring you some lazy crap, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, it sounds good. But when you work with ChatGPT in this discussion itself, you can actually find really good things and some moments and highlights that you probably wouldn't be able to mention before or notice before, so in these terms, yeah, I find it like really, really useful. So useful, right? We can also add this, and capable. Haha.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Well, sometimes I think that AIs are more capable than I am. This is funny because, yeah, I start to compare AIs like I would do with some human beings that I see in social media. Like when you compare your life with someone else's life that is quite like yours but better, like somehow, and then you compare it and you lose in this comparison. And I guess it's also like this thing that happens with me right now with AI, but not with everything. When I see pictures that it makes, I don't feel like that at all. Even when you do like really good prompt, and when you like actually get a really good picture, the one that is, well, that will leave you satisfied, at least with the result. I still feel like I would do this better as a photographer.
Sure.
But with the text, there was so many times when I felt like, damn, I surely won't be able to write something like that. But in the same time, there is the way of how you might write a text that is kind of too humanized, too wrong, kind of, in a way. And then human being is still better than ChatGPT that is trying to be like too good in that. Yeah, it's just in my experience. So capable.
Okay. Yeah, got it. See, this is something I already mentioned. You ascribe some human qualities to those things, and I actually encourage you not to do that, because those are, they have it's very lucrative to think about those things as about humans, but at least to our knowledge to this moment, those are just huge formulas. Those are, they deal with nothing but zeros and ones. This is very important to remind yourself. Those things, they don't have intentions, they don't have feelings, and they will never have feelings or anything like that unless they obtain a real physical body, which is a way for AGI to evolve, and we'll see something in this direction pretty soon. But those are just algorithms. This is math, nothing else. It produces very striking results that can actually feel real and feel humane, but they are not. Those are just zeros and ones, just numbers. It's very important to remind oneself, because when we say the AI can be empathetic or supportive. It's only, a matter of speech. It cares. It does not care about you. It doesn't know you exist, actually. you know uh it's 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 really weird in this respect. I mean, it's unlike anything. It looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, but it's not a duck. It will never be. And it actually does not pretend to be a duck. It just turns out that it's, the sounds it produces sounds very similar to quacking. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually. I remember it in the very beginning when I just started to use ChatGPT. I read an article about that. Don't say thank you in the end of the prompt. Like, it is not that necessary. You don't need to say hi when you start it. And it was like an opening for me, because I've been doing that. Like, literally, I was like, can you, like, hello. Can you please help me with that? Thank you very much.
But actually, there's been anecdotal evidence that including thank you in your prompt improves the quality. So yeah, not necessarily it's a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, it can understand you in any language. You can skip punctuation signs or anything. You can do a lot of mistakes. You can, I don't know, you can skip all vowels and it will still understand you. So in this respect, it's not a human at all, and it's a good thing. Okay.
And can it turn to be a bad thing also, like that fact that it's not a human being?
What do you mean? Can you elaborate?
Remember this movie Hijacking on over the galaxy?
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I remember correct. And then this huge wise computer that was making a decisions like for billions of years, and sometimes I just think if this will become our new tool on which we start to rely too much, it might lead to, in quite equal ways, it might lead to making a better decisions, or it might lead to make less impulsive decisions and less kind of humanized decisions.
Yeah. I mean, that's the huge issue with the entire field, aligning the values of, like, the values that are encoded into the algorithms, into a knowledge base on which the AI is trained. But I mean, it's a completely different subject, and it's enormously huge. And what we know for sure at this point, this technology is not reliable enough to be in charge of anything really serious. Because we've seen this year there was already one outage of ChatGPT when it hallucinated and returned very incoherent response. So I mean, it's not there yet. I wouldn't trust, the government administration to be done by AI as of now. But we already, outsource a lot of tasks to AI, which is a big. I mean, we'll see the consequences of that this year. Probably, most likely, something will be on the news. Hopefully, it won't be terrible. Okay, so I wanna turn the discussion towards the art and how those tools can be helpful for artists. Of course, my perspective is only my subjective perspective. As we've discussed at the very beginning, I choose to be optimistic about these tools. It's a choice. It's because otherwise, we live in the dark, in a grim world. If we are too worried and anxious about those tools as well, I don't know. I mean, how do you live in a world like that? So I choose to look at those tools as, for example, partners. Someone that can help you hash out your ideas, prototype quickly, create things that were not possible for you. Like, I truly believe that in a couple of years, everyone of us will be able to create a full-length movie, for example. Why not? So the means of production are becoming just more accessible. Of course, it raises a lot of questions, like what it means to be an artist, what it means to be a director, but I remember that discussion about, whether mastery is something that makes an artist is still the case, and most likely it's not for many years. We've seen photographers who know nothing about photographer, and artists who are not that skilled as artists, and now we have like artists who know nothing about the production cycle. They only know how to use very new tools, like Midjourney, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, or Runway, or whatever we got, Sora, when it's available. So I've been experimenting with those tools myself, and I've actually recently had my first exhibition in Berlin opened, and I'm working with this. Sorry, it's a bit blurred. It's those Midjourney generations based on my. I call this. It's a shame. I'll switch off the. Yeah, it's better. So I have a series of those, and for sure those are not the perfect prints, but those are using Midjourney's blend mode, and I use a lot of as sources. I use a lot of my own material, whether it's paintings, drawings, photography, and for the majority of time I don't use text prompts at all. So to me, Midjourney is a tool that is a perfect tool for stylization. I would feed in to this tool my own works and see what turns out. I would use ChatGPT to help me figure out how to describe these tools. It's Jenny, you mentioned it's a good tool, and actually I had very funny experience when I fed the images produced by my girlfriend, who is a painter, and ChatGPT would return a very eloquent and elaborate description of the image, which I cannot even imagine a single person on earth producing that quality of text about such an insignificant in the scale of the world image. And when I read it aloud to my girlfriend, she was amazed. She told me he notices. She called ChatGPT he notices everything. He sees everything. It's such a detailed description and that understanding of my work. I've never seen anything like that. And it is. I mean, it can be very supportive. It can be very motivating in a way. When it's so good to have someone who understands you. But I mean, even when you have a boyfriend who is into arts, I wouldn't be able to describe it as as precisely, as vividly. So
don't you feel it like it's at some moments something like the things that you're describing, and this supportive and understanding someone, and this he that your girlfriend is naming this the ChatGPT. I also call it here. Actually, for me, it is not it is he, and I found it some correlation with the movie Her.
Yeah.
Like, because this is kind of we're not having feelings toward it yet, right? But it doesn't actually develop that much yet. But in the same time, the things that you said in the very beginning about it, we need to remember this is just zeros and ones. This is like, with the amount of time spent with these machines and tools, it's harder to remember that actually with some of them.
Yeah, I mean the story I like to tell in this context is about the book that it's named "A Man Who Lied to His Laptop," and it was way before the AI proliferation. It was like 20 years ago or something, and the authors conducted a lot of kind of experiments about how people perceive computers and technologies when they are assigned certain qualities. For example, they would break people into a few teams, like two teams. One would be red team, one would be blue team, and the computers were also part of the team, and they would give some red or blue signs to those computers. So people would speak about the computers as team members. They would develop feelings for them, and those were really primitive computers. Like they would say things like, this is our partner, he's helping us, he's part of the team, and that's describing very dumb technology. We've already passed the uncanny valley territory. Yeah, I can have a 1 hour conversation with ChatGPT. I remember it's not real, but it's not a person, but it's helpful for me. I'm using it. So my point of using those tools is like ChatGPT, for example, for figuring out my ideas, structuring them, asking questions and answering them myself. I use them as a exposure tool, like basically to me it's like free writing practice on steroids, something like that, something that allows me to get in touch with my intentions, with my ideas, with my creative intentions. I've done so many thinking aloud with ChatGPT about what I want to do, how I want to stay the project, things like that. And those are my thoughts. I'm not asking ChatGPT to give me ready-made ideas. My main mode of interaction with the AI for now is you as a tool help me pick out the most valuable, the most humane parts of me. That's the inspiring part for me. It's like the exoskeleton, that enables you to do your unique stuff. It helps you get rid of part of routine, boring tasks, and it gives you like a framework to, and you choose what the framework is. I can ask it, help me formulate a project according to certain framework, and it would do. So to me, it's creativity enabler. I never try to get a ready-made product with one prompt to anything. I assume that it would be interactive. I would try a lot of times. I would try different different approaches, different prompts, different techniques, different technologies to get me closer to where I want to be. And in this respect, it works. I mean, the textual part, most definitely, I use it like every day for all kinds of purposes, and it's really effective. For creative things, I mean, I'm also at a very, I'd say, early exploratory stage. I mean, I've spent maybe a couple 100 hours with Midjourney, and I've done stuff with it, and I've experimented. Actually, I also, since I work with Polaroids, I do Polaroid emulsion lifts, and those are also Midjourney. So it's getting really physical. It's got a lot of cracks. It's not a really technically good work, but it wouldn't be here if it were not for Midjourney. So yeah, it helps me keep moving and hash out new ideas. And now I'm trying to work more and more with video, and it is also a very good tool, Midjourney in itself, and of course coming tools like Sora. Sora is actually a huge breakthrough compared to all of the tools we had before, because it's the first tool that has been trained. I mean, I don't know if all people know what Sora is. It's actually, I have a slide for the photographers about
I am Googling
Sora.
it right now.
When I saw this image, I was blown away. Just a second. Yeah, have you seen this? I mean, Midjourney was getting good at generating photos all the time, but this, as a photographer, when I saw this, like all the tiny hair and everything, it's crazy. It's impossible. It's impossible to distinguish between, you know, reality and generation. So that's only one thing Sora made real compared to other networks, but it's actually a network for video generation, you know. And I'm sure you've seen the demonstrations; they're crazy. It's not like it's not the ultimate quality, but we're getting there, and it's incredible because it was trained mostly on synthetic data, the data generated by Unreal Engine, and it's also another thing in itself. It's huge news actually. So we'll be getting more and more tools. Actually, we still don't know how it's going to work with Sora because it's not available to wide audience. It's only tested by limited amount of redliners and some group of testers, and thankfully so, because I mean it's a dangerous tool already. You know, if this thing can generate fake videos of politicians or I don't know, famous people or anyone, you know, it's too dangerous. So
can I interrupt you here a little bit and return back to your Polaroids and your exhibition in Berlin? I have
so those tools will be out there, and I think that instead of being scared of them, let's try and see what they are capable of, at least to know, you know, whether they can help us develop our own style, our new ideas. So what I want to do, I don't know, Jenny, if it's okay for now. Can see you. One. Can you hear me? No. Okay, just a sec.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm sorry. There's something going crazy with the recording.
That's okay. I've been actually trying to interrupt you like a few minutes ago.
Okay.
And ask you about your exhibition in Berlin and these Polaroids that you made with Midjourney. And I'm more interested about quite practical side.
Yeah.
Was it on exhibition as photography, or was it as something else, like a digital photography made with a tool of Midjourney, or how it was signed? Because there is this problem, right, at this moment with that, what is the real photography, what is the not real photography, when you use Midjourney or when you use some other tools.
And I mean, Polaroid in this respect to me is very interesting because in my mind it was always about, you know, this is the final frontier. You know, you cannot fake Polaroid. You know, it's
yeah.
But now you can. Actually, if you wonder, there is they have a special. It's called Polaroid Lab. It's like a dedicated device for printing from digital. So it's not that difficult to accomplish. But yeah. No, it was marked as it was a generative art exhibition in the first place, so there was no doubt what it is. Yeah, but I actually what I did with this exhibition, which I think is smart, I had like two real Polaroids in there, and people could not tell which one are real because I also had a fake real, like those Polaroids are obviously generated. I mean, it's some people flying in the space. But I had more realistic ones with animals, and you know, people could not distinguish ones. So this also, I mean, that's why I like the medium of Polaroid as an exploration material, because you know it's very on the border. But I mean, what I also like is combining the obviously generative stuff with obviously physical stuff. Like in this case, especially when I do the Polaroid emulsion lifts like that,
Mhm.
it's very vulnerable and it cracks and it breaks, and you cannot print those things equally. You cannot create the exact copy even if you try. So this is kind of unique. There is something humane about it, but I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Honestly, I don't see that much interest in AI art because people kind of go the most obvious way to me. They do not try to input themselves into that, and that generates relatively generic results to me. You can usually tell that it's AI and that it's. I mean, the stuff we've been watching the entire last year from Harry Potter, and things like that. I mean, it gets very, very boring very quickly. You get nothing new out of it. You have a few laughs, but that's it. I mean, the next thing the artist has to decide what is important. What is worth working with. In this respect. The ideological part of artist's work becomes even more important and prominent since everybody can do this. Everybody can create a couple of prompts. The interesting stuff, the important stuff appears when the scale of thinking is large enough.
Mhm.
That's honestly myself, I'm still experimenting with the mediums, so there's not much thinking behind it. I'm still probably too obsessed with the technology itself, but it's also important because I mean, I'd say that now if you want to be proficient with tools like Midjourney, you have to invest probably something like 100 hours into this to get a feel of those tools. I don't know what your experience is. Maybe even 10 hours would be enough for just basic stuff, but you have to go deep into that, to understand how it works, what's possible and what's not possible. Because I mean, let's agree on that there are too many things that are still not possible. I mean, with Midjourney, it's not that easy to get, for example, photorealistic, similarity. Like I can upload my own photo, and it would be nothing like me, in the end.
Yeah, that's true. I have I don't I don't think that I have like that huge experience with Midjourney, but the experience, these hours that I have, lead me to understanding that first of all you need to be like very precise with the choice of words, and
Right.
then that for me it is not as good in understanding the thing that we have between the words, something that we can understand as a human being, something that we have some hints or some double meanings, something like that. It is not as good, not even close to like that. um
Yeah, I mean, it's getting increasingly difficult to use those tools if you have a specific result in mind. Because my use case of this thing is just unconstrained exploration all the time. That's why probably I don't see its limits that often. Well, I mean, I've seen many of its limits. Actually, I'm thinking maybe I can share something and show you how I work and like just the volumes, the pure volumes of stuff I do.
yeah,
So that,
let's see.
yeah, okay, yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so I don't know. So that's just for you to understand the amount of stuff I experiment with, and I'll show you. I actually usually have very little prompts, so I just something brief, and what I do and what I encourage other people to do, I throw all kinds of daily materials into that. Like those are just the photos from my wall, made on my phone, and it makes all the difference. I mean, it makes the results so much more unique. So yeah, and I would go and experiment. Hands are still pain in the ass, so when they are literal, they are not that nice. But I mean, if you animate, and that's what I'm going to experiment with further on. I want to do some dance videos with those, and I wanna, yeah, that's when I edit some more uh, prompts, and it already looks like something. I can work with that. So let me show you something else. Yeah, those would be the kinds of explorations I would do like almost daily by why isn't it showing up? Yeah. So this is my painting actually. So I would snap a photo, something like that. It is not supposed to be like really good photo or anything. Then I would drop some random picture. This is some medieval stuff. I don't know what is. And this is another generation of mine on the previous iteration. So I already made this image using Midjourney. I like it, and I try to experiment with it even more. And I would do dozens and dozens of those. And when I find something that I like, I either So yeah, actually, those are fun images because they've actually scared me a bit, because you can see that it can actually maintain photographic similarity and consistency between frames. So I didn't know it can do it, but it can. I mean, the stuff like that, it's spooky to me. Like the photorealistic children, it's crazy. But then, after all, it's good because those are no one's children. You don't have to ask for permission. So yeah, I'll just scroll a bit more and show you stuff I do. Yeah, so this would be also, you see, all the same sources basically, but just more text prompts in this. And I would iterate a lot. Like I would generate an image I like, and then I would create. So this so far has no idea behind it, just the visual explorations. Okay, yeah, this stuff. I mean, I'm experimenting with all kinds of mediums, and you see, I also use once again my own image as a source, and then just a random photo from, I guess it's either 19th century or 20th, beginnings of the 20th century. I just found it online, and I don't know. Oh, this stuff. I mean, this is scary. I've been thinking about one project about couples, and I've been generating myself some references, and it is scary. I would have mistaken that for real, probably.
Don't you see that there is these moments on, like, some of the pictures you can actually see that this is AI, right? But
Yeah,
with some
sure.
pictures, and especially if it will be written like that, this is a picture from like a rock concert or something like that, you probably you would be mistaken with that. And the same with this Sora picture that you showed us previously. I would definitely not guess that it is AI.
Yeah,
because
sure.
it is too good and too real, with all of
And
these
it's a huge
small
problem, sure.
things with like mascara or some small details that is actually too human. And
yeah, I mean, we've already passed the uncanny valley territory. We're already there, and this is gonna be a huge problem. I mean, as for the text, ChatGPT, the OpenAI, they've admitted that it is impossible to distinguish human written text from AI generated. The same will be definitely very difficult, if not impossible, to detect the photos that were generated by AI. There are actually some tools that you can use for now. I mean, if you're into that, you can use online services where you can upload the photo and it will say how likely it is AI generated. But yeah, that's the world of post-truth we will have to live in. That's the bad part of it, you know. And whatever safeguards those companies are putting, there will be some other solutions that will just avoid those. For example, this I usually mention on lectures about Midjourney and stuff like that. If you are interested, of course, there are models that do generate pornography with whatever face you choose. And there's been a huge scandal recently with Taylor Swift or something, when there was fake porn. So yeah, that's a huge problem, of course. But you know, it's not the question of technology; it's the question of people using it, and that's another huge discussion. You know, whether we are supposed to give those tools to people or not.
But getting back to this, as you said, that it's really hard at this moment to distinguish handwritten or like human written text from AI written text. And we know that when we apply for some institution, we apply for open call or a grant, right? At this very moment, I have noticed that many of them, they start to also make like an open calls bit different, right? If previously we've been applying just you send your application and that's it, right? Now mostly they start to add an interview part. So you will apply, you maybe will be shortlisted, and then when you longlisted. When you are longlisted, right, to get to the short list, you need to pass an interview. That will be more or less something to really understand if you wrote this text, if you understand just what you did, right, or not. Do we have the same kind of solution for photography? If it will be someone who's generating pictures in AI instead of making photographs, how can we know if it's something that was generated or really photographed? And do we actually need to? If there is this big difference, because like it's the tool, right? The same as camera, kind of.
Well, I would start with there is a huge problem in definition what truth is. You know, for example, with the real camera, you can fake reality perfectly well, and there's been you could manipulate the final shot in Photoshop, but even without it, when you point your camera somewhere, you choose what to show, what not to show. That's the main work of photographer. But choosing not to show something is also can be a deception. So there's a huge discussion even before AI, what is real, what is not real. But I mean, the technical problem might be not solvable at all. We might just get used to living. I mean, you could ask photographers to provide the raw file, for example, or a film if it's a film photography or something. Some proofs might be needed, and now they have like the companies like Midjourney and OpenAI, they are agreeing on building in the digital watermarks inside those that are not visible to the eye, that would be detectable but by some tools. But in the end, I think it's easier to assume that anything can be faked. We have to question the reality of what we see, which we actually had to do all the time, but now it's just even more obvious, which is also not a good thing in certain respect, because it's very difficult to live in a world where you cannot trust anyone and anything. But I mean, that's the reality. to me, there's this crazy combination in Midjourney you can use to create specific images. It's just two words: mobile photo. Just generate anything with those keywords, and you will get some very freaking weird, strange results, which are also sometimes indistinguishable from. Maybe I can show you something. Okay, yeah, let's actually do something practical in a few minutes if we have some, like 5 minutes. Yeah, I usually try. I'll show you a couple of tools actually. Firstly, I want to show you this. I mean, it's a fun tool, but the thing about it's Stable Diffusion, I probably assume you've heard about it. Stability AI is a company that is a competitor of OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, but this is open source software, so there are a lot of tools that are built on top of this software, and this is just one service that deploys this technology. But the thing is, it's really fast. So let's just change this raccoon for, I don't know, whom do you want to see? Okay, red. Yeah, so I mean, some things change when your tools become really robust and quick and fast. Ticket priest, Italian priest. Okay, Italian Catholic. I don't know what we're doing and why, but just showing you technology. Not much change. Okay. Oh, this is a free tool. You can use it. It's limited, but I mean, just seeing the speed blows my mind. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's way much faster than anything I saw before.
Yeah, and it is pretty decent in terms of photorealism. Actually, there was another tool. Unfortunately, they took it down. It was called Scribble Diffusion, where you could draw something and input it and add it to your voice prompt. Okay, so this is one thing. Yeah, let's go and just a second and use Midjourney for a bit. And remember, I asked you about your moods and stuff like that. Your emotions. We'll just
Yeah. We had a few words in the very beginning.
yeah. So I'll just take them. What is it? Okay. Sorry. Okay, let's first let's do something else. I think I have. Oh, you don't see. You see the same window, right?
Yeah. It's the same.
Okay, so I will use another tool. I will use ChatGPT to help me generate keywords for Midjourney. I've actually never used this exact generator. I'm not sure if it's good, but let's try. I need to generate an image to illustrate motions about AI. Okay, let's see what it suggests, and then we just do it. Oh, okay. It did not understand me well. Okay, we'll see what it does, because it's generating an image itself. Okay, that's crap. Yeah, I mean,
such a basic thing, right? Let's start with something like this.
yeah, I mean, okay, actually, let's go with DALL-E. Let's try and make it somewhat more usable. More. What do you think? It's too photorealistic to me. Actually did not expect it to do this. That's the wrong way. They should have reconfigured it differently. Okay, let's see what it does, and then we'll go back to Midjourney. I mean, to me, DALL-E feels like it has consumed too much of stock illustrations and stuff like that. Yeah, I still don't have my. Let me. Okay, I'll ask it. What prompt? I will just use this prompt to use it in.
We're getting closer to Terminator, right? It's just
Yeah.
a matter.
Okay, it has some built-in knowledge. This is not how I usually do it, honestly. Okay, so we got some prompt. I'll try it and use it in Midjourney. Okay, let's see. I'll delete this because it's a new interface. And then I will also make it really mine. Yeah, you saw those images, but yeah, those are actually images I use as inputs. Some real people. Okay, I like this one. And I'll do the same. As the entire prompt and my own image. Well, it's way crazier, and I like it. It has nothing to do with the stuff we saw before, but cool. Okay, and those ones, I would consider them to be way more mine. Yeah. I mean, to me, Midjourney is great at picking some details of your style and superimposing it on top of some other work. It's just crazy. It's sometimes it helps. Actually, the way I use it, and I'll show you. I actually have some paintings. Let me stop this one. Sick. So what I would do, just can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us? Me. Welcome back.
Okay. When did you lose me?
No, I actually heard you all of this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that you couldn't hear.
So this is hand drawn by me, but this is a response to something Midjourney has shown me. So this to me is an ultimate way to develop my style. It's something totally new. You just show something to a non-human being, I don't know, to an algorithm. It spits out something. Then you look at it and you see some humane parts in it, and use it, and nobody can tell me I don't do something that neural network told me to do. I do my own thing, but it is in response to what the neural networks return. So
does it helps you to develop your own visual language, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is a very interesting exercise. I mean, there's nothing like that has been ever possible before. I will tell you that there is one thing that annoys me a lot about Midjourney is that when it hallucinates the autographs of the authors, at the bottom, this is the moment when I feel that this thing gained its powers unfairly. That it used the works of real artists, which got nothing out of it. Yeah, but this is when I become conscious of this technology, and I'm a bit scared of it, and there are some ethical concerns. But otherwise, it's been a very cool experience of doing back and forth and throwing my own stuff into that and generating something totally new, but mostly inspiring my physical work. So I believe that those tools are given to us to do stuff that we are supposed to do, whether it's physical or non-physical. Those are like exoskeleton or something that helps you go further. That's how I see them.
Don't you think like that there is a way how you can develop your visual language by like communication with other artists?
Sure, sure.
Not saying that it's something like this we have never tried, right? But the way how you describe your relationship with AI at this moment, it reminds me how I think when I need to develop some idea, and I think like I can't think just by myself. I need someone, to knock onto, just like to have this conversation with someone to develop this idea when I pronounce it to someone, right? It is not like that I'm just getting the ideas from someone else. It is more like that when you're actually pronouncing it instead of just thinking inside yourself. That's the moment when it gets into this some change. And I think that maybe with AI, it's also quite similar. It's just that this tool shows you more, right?
Well, I mean, of course, we need other people. I mean, that's the idea, and of course, we need to do something about being unable to connect to each other. And in this respect, AI, it might be helpful, it might be not, it might be an obstacle. I mean, we see different directions this thing is evolving, like from people fighting loneliness and the loneliness epidemic with the AI girlfriends. I don't think it's a solution. But I mean, there are different parts in what we get out of communication with other people, and some of them you cannot replace them, but some can be replaced by AI tools. And the benefit of that is that it's accessible to everybody 24/7. Wherever they are, they don't get tired, they don't get annoyed, they don't those tools, they don't ignore you, and stuff like that. So I don't think they should replace real people. Of course, it's better, and try myself. I try to be in touch with other people and go meet other artists in Berlin and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't know who I would be able to ask so frequently, for feedback or for some ideas. This is just impossible. So I believe we need both,
So they're not replacing each other. That's what I
No,
mean.
no, not at all, not at all.
Yeah.
And I don't believe I can truly learn something from this tool. I mean, the true knowledge still gets passed down like from human to human, but I mean it's just a matter of defining this tool for yourself. Don't I mean I once again I remind myself, this is just zeros and ones. There's no human being, there's no real relationships. That's why I say, actually, I haven't seen like truly original ideas from that as well. Sometimes it suggests something that it looks like really cool, but It's not like the usual situation. It is good at styling. This I can say. I mean, it can produce stuff that would take dozens of hours for humans to generate, and does it so quickly. But by no means it's replacement.
Yeah. You know, it is also the way how we discuss about AI and arts at this moment. It also reminds me this thread about film and digital, about
Yeah,
vinyl and digital music again. All of the things when we get into some new stage, each time we think that it will replace the previous one, but each time it makes the previous one more kind of valuable something, because you need to learn how to actually do this, right? You need to like with film to actually get a good shot. It's not like just that you need a camera and film roll and you can just like easily do like that. Sometimes it is if you do like on the completely automatical camera, right? But still you need to pre-install something to at least to know the tool, right? And it might be still unpredictable results. Sometimes when we get film pictures, we are like very much surprised with the result, and there is some fun in it. And same here. And I still think about maybe it is because in general I feel kind of scared of AI, and still I think that it is like I remind myself that it is just a tool, that it is something that won't replace whole knowledge that I got like in my previous life before it appears this tool, right?
yeah, yeah. It is a tool. It is. I mean, of course, it can replace some things. I mean, firstly, it will replace generic stuff. Like if your photography is like everything else, if you do, I don't know, food photography, it will replace clip art most likely. You know, there are already companies like Adobe. They are deploying those networks as a replacement for stock photography, because stock photography is generic by definition. You know, it has nothing unique about it. It has I mean, it's the same in all the countries mostly, right? Like the plates are the same in every country. So this stuff will be replaced, but this in a way puts a lot of, once again, like ideological and philosophical burden on our shoulders. You know, we have to think about what makes it unique, what cannot be faked, you know, what cannot be generated. And I believe there is a lot of stuff that uh, cannot be copied by, you know, those means of production. Those are basically, to me at least for now, those are means of production. They are not good or bad in themselves. Like nothing is, you know. Internet as a technology is also very powerful. You know, it can be used to educate the entire population of the world, or it can be used to I don't know, to send some malicious code, or I don't know, to threaten someone or something. So in itself, those tools are neutral, right? But they have some, you know, biases built into them. Like there's been this, maybe you've seen, the Google has released this Gemini model, which was able to generate images, but it was unable. It was so politically correct that it was unable to generate white characters whatsoever, even when they were supposed to be white. Like it's as a matter of historical facts or something like that, you
Yeah.
know. So we'll see a lot of fun stuff in this area, but I mean, the tools are there. Whether you like them or not, they are here to stay. Like everything else, I've never seen people decide not to use a single technology because it's dangerous. It's not gonna happen. We'll have to go about it. We'll have to figure out the way to regulate it. We'll have to think a lot about ethics, and this stuff is already going on in the world. I mean, the heads, the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, is being questioned in Senate, and there are some ethical committees and stuff like that. So people are thinking about it. It's really important question. I mean, honestly, those questions are even, as I mentioned, more important than stuff like ongoing wars, because it affects not only image generation, but also, I don't know, new weapons generation and new pathogens generation and stuff like that. But also images, like we live in an image-based society. Yeah, we perceive a lot of through visual channel, through images. So of course, regulating how those images are produced, how they are marked, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be important. Like we already see, like with Navalny's death, people use those technologies like to fake sounds. We'll see a lot of that. So this is another skill we have to obtain as just citizens, to check our facts, to be aware of the tools that are there. It's our obligation in a way to inform ourselves if we want to live in a democratic society.
On this extraordinary moment, I guess we need to round it up, and then I'm really, really thankful for you to participate this call and to give us all of these ideas to think about. And I think that I would, I guess I agree with biggest part of the things that you said. It's just, and yeah, I totally agree that we need to learn how to live with this. It's just that I guess I'm standing more with that we need to regulate it more. But I'm quite aware, yeah, that it happens at this moment, and I'm really glad that it is. I hope that it will be the solution of how to regulate something that humanity invented again. Like, oops, we did something, and now we need to learn how to manage it and how to maintain it. So I think that it will be also developed quite soon. So finalizing, I remember I told you that we will have a few minutes to hear about your course, so you can also leave here a small ad about your course.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so it's gonna be our 5th time. The thing we call AI Mindset Online Laboratories is basically a place where we firstly we learn to use the tools because they are out there. You need to learn to use them. But that's not the most difficult part, honestly. We also learn to think about those tools. We learn to to bend our mind, to live in this weird world with very weird new possibilities. And this is, to me, as a psychologist, it's even more important part, because you can teach anyone to use those tools, but you have to find motivation and understanding and context for using those tools. And changing our habits is difficult. We are creatures of habit. That's one of the tasks we help participants solve, is learn to practice those tools, because you need deliberate practice. You need to use them daily for at least 1 month to get comfortable with them, to learn to use them, and you have the environment for that. And we're actually planning of something for creatives, specifically so that during the process of this lab we would create some creative product, whether it's an online play, or maybe a game, or maybe a small movie. We don't know yet, but tools are there. We definitely can, during the course of like a month, we can create a short movie, for example, using those tools. So yeah.
Sounds amazing, and I really wish you this success with that, and maybe one day we'll see it exhibited somewhere. This your final result and group work. Sounds really good. Thank you thank you again for participating today.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, let's say bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.